No. I'm gonna wrap up Gaming Gems challenge because I have a shit ton of offerings to the goddess. I only need to do it. I think we're like halfway done. Yeah, we just need to do it 4 more. Well, actually, less than that. We need to do it however many times. Like I got lucky, and the last 2 runs I was able to use the divine font twice. The nice thing is it lets me use. Well, not necessarily lets. I'm using this build because it's easy. It's like fast. I don't have to wait to. The clear on it is better. The only doozy is this part I'm really bad at navigating through this. Because I don't usually do this one very much. I usually do the third lab running. Mostly because I usually don't have a lot of offerings to the goddesses and these willy-nilly. But you get so many from your map runners. So I have like before I did this, I think I had like 46. Something like that. Like more than I'll ever use. And then the last run I was able to get the Viper Strike of the Mamba because I was able to get turn the non-transfigured into its transfigured version. Now we're trying to get Lacerate of Butchering. And then after that, it's just if I have to run it anymore, like if I still have more runs left after that, then I'll try for Shield Crush the Chieftain. I think that's the only other. Other skill that I kind of like care about getting. Oh wait, no, Infernal Blow. That's the one. We'll do the Infernal Blow and then we'll go for the Shield Crush if we still need more. But yeah, no, I like doing. The other character is good for mapping, but I kind of trust this guy's survivability through the traps a good amount more because 700 regen is really nice. Yeah, 681. I'm debating if I want to try to. If I want to put the enchant on this one. To be honest, I think I should just go back to two-handed axes. It's just the area of effect is really nice. Instead, I'd be trading it for. Well, I'd have to spend 1 point more. Um, 4 points. Like, it's really efficient. Alright. So in this one, the homies are a little too high level to get deleted. In the third lab, like I can kill the gargoyles through their DR. That makes it kind of rough to get the extra keys. But luckily, the next one is the next one is whatchamacallit. Is words are escaping me. The next one is an interacting one and not a hit it one. So it guarantees me, as long as I don't kill a gargoyle, I'm guaranteed to get 3 keys. The only problem is lacerate has 2 of them. So it's like a 50-50 shot on whether or not I can get without get butchering or hemorrhaging. To be fair, I could also just run tectonic slam. Right? Like if I did this instead, especially for the bossing part. For the gargoyles at least. But that's too try hard because I have to aim. Yeah, I think next league I kinda wanna try Consecrated Path and maybe try leveling with that. Instead of Earthquake. Granted though, I think Tectonic Slam's like really good once you get uh once you get the full Warcry power one. So that way you can just always guarantee max endurance charges. Buddies, simmer down. I also have way more GCP than I know what to do with, so it doesn't really affect me a whole lot. I should definitely hold on to more than one lacerate though, in case I lose the 50-50. If I could stop being blind for like, where's lacerate? So as long as I can guarantee another goofer, we'll be done on the next one, and then I'll just lacerate of butchering later. Oh, I really want to try and get done with these challenges as I can. Or needs. I wonder if now with the melee rework, if we'll get like a new melee or a new slime skill. Well, the last time we got a new slime. Volcanic Fisher, I think. Like not counting the transfigure, I mean like the actual base skill. I think Volcanic Fisher was the last slime skill that we got. I've I've been using so much shield charge that I forget that you can go like through doors with you know, one thing I find weird is I'm kind of curious if PoE2 will end up staying the way they want it to, because it seems like they want PoE2 to kind of like play very differently from PoE1, but like I call it PoE2 though. I feel like when you call something like the sequel to something, you set an expectation for it to be similar to the you know the previous one. I guess it's because the premises and stuff are the same, right? A lot of the classes and a lot of stuff transfer over. I don't know. It just I'd always like I always find it weird when game companies do stuff like that. They're like, yeah, because it just feels like they just want to use their name. But in like with publishers, it's usually the case. That's how it is. Like they just want to use the name for clout. But in Path of Exile, it's just kind of weird because they don't really have to use their name for clout. Because most cases when you're doing something like that, it's because it's a game you have to pay for. So they're trying to get as many people to pay for it as possible. The PoE2 is free. Also, the biggest reason I'm thinking of going back to axes is because I have a 27% quality axe. Actually, I might just do that. I might just go back to axes and take the just do the fire resistance one. See if I can get roll that craft that one axe to be better. Kill any of the gargoyles. We're guaranteed 3. I have to kind of like stand in that corner. As long as I stand in that corner and the gargoyle that gets aggroed on in the distance isn't the one that's like getting activated, then we usually phase his RO before anything. Like before we kill it. I think I'm gonna try Shaper, a retaliation gladiator. Honestly, the fact that I've only stuck with like 2 builds, I'm kind of just ignoring the Warden build to be honest, because I haven't really played. I don't know what the fuck. I'm assuming dead and they dead, but oh, that's so annoying. They hadn't like spawned in completely, but they had their hitboxes were already there. It's actually not too bad for running. Took a little getting used to for the layouts for stuff, because I'm not used to them, but they're fine. Spinny spin. End up going to the side area. Oh wait, this isn't my jazzy one. Too upbeat. Soothe the brain, not amp it up. Let's go. Did it. Oh, we won. That was a 50-50 and we won the 50-50. Dominating blow. Fire. Is this the one that... I think this is the one I saw a build for. Yeah, it is. And I think it's this one. Like the transfigured version. Yeah, I'll take it. Never know. Maybe we don't need that. Decent little amount of currency. Finished another challenge. Good. I feel like my game that I have that full auto is that full auto is the Horus should be able to full auto. Ooh, we'll try. We couldn't find them. I only hope they made it to shore. Mother, it's annoying. It'll be back soon. Might as well wait for it. That's so fucking good enough. Good enough for a replacement. We'll just sit here and wait for a little bit. All right. Forgot that this one was all. It was like flasks and tinctures. Didn't even 84 the highest ace can drop? Wait, no, that's the rage. Blind, shock, poison, poison. Actually, the poison one might be worth. Oh, it's 20% quality. Fucking. Crap. What are these other ones quality? 16%, 19%. It'll save me on. Glass blower bubbles. Petrified. Everybody wants fucking petrified ember right now. Do I even have enough? You want 61,000? No, I don't. I need like 10,000. I have 6. Need like 10,000. 12,000? 12,200? To do this one. 11,000 for that one. Yeah, see, this is the problem. I need like 12,000 here, 11,000 here. This one needs what, 18? No, 16,000? No, 17,000. And another 20, and then another like 5,000 here. Meanwhile, I have like 72,000 bismuth that nobody fucking wants. Like, such a shit system, bro. I know I gave up worrying about it. And I just do my currency runs. Such a shit system for that. Like they did a lot of good stuff, but like there's a lot of other stuff that it's just annoying to handle. I thoroughly like the I can't drop her. Why whatever. I personally like the uh what should we call them? Like I like the map runners and the auction house, the currency auction house. I don't really care too much for anything else. As like the the shippers. The shippers are nice, like if you just use them as is, but trying to fulfill the quotas, like fucking forget about it. Back to running residences. Supposedly, like statistically speaking, I'm gonna start just basically full clearing my residences because I apparently should have gotten a nameless seer to spawn by now. Which is why I feel either he has spawned and I just missed it on the map, or he hasn't spawned because I keep barely missing the criteria to spawn him. I swear this character is just shit luck for. I think 84 should be able to run. Should be able to get the recharge one. The Craft of Exile. Yeah, it's just high level 8. Yeah, they can keep rolling it. Needs to be high level 8. All damage on any of the leeches. Her energy shield is kind of not good for us, but it's fine. Oh, we gotta. Was it one of the tinctures we got? The bleed one? Oh. That was the poison one, which we'll probably end up using on the Mamba build. Anywho. Need for Steve. Oh, baby. wonder if maybe the no, because I've gotten them before with scarabs. I don't know. But yeah, basically I'm just gonna backtrack and like that'll increase my chance a little bit more. Even though I think what it might be is I think that the chance for nameless seer and chance for reflecting mist, uh, they're the same, like they overlap, right? But I don't know. I don't remember if I've gotten a nameless seer and a reflecting mist on the same map. Like I don't know if that's possible, or if it's a case of if you have one, you can't get the other one. Because I've gotten a couple reflecting mists while running this. It's just aside from farming that for trying to get the I'm trying to get the item, the currency item. I don't think is very great. Oh, I saw duplicate. I should have. I really hope that wasn't scarabs. I'll need like, what is it? I think like Lich Helmet is the last one I need for my Trickster. But to be fair, I haven't really been paying attention to the food all too much. Yeah, we're also farming for the scouting reports, so I can try and get Doriani's Mechanarium on the Kirik. Herbs of Unmaking are welcome because I've been using a lot of them. Yeah, your frostwall can't block my fucking eviscerates, you bastard. Push that button. We can go find those other. I wonder if it counts the tree stuff. I don't think it does. Just I don't know where the tackle monster could be. This wasn't really a problem with snaking because snaking does such a good job of just going off by itself and killing packs without extra input. I feel like it might be just like a pack of Eldritch monsters. They're just in a corner that I haven't procced. Oh well. What the fuck? Ones that I got? Wait, do I not have bare boots? There's a chest piece. I saw the gloves. Oh, there's the boot. 85. Technically, I would want 86s. Not much to be done there. love how the 6 dragon raids are ranked so much higher than the Ennead raids in difficulty, but to be honest, the Ennead raids are generally more difficult. What if Eldritch minion? I don't know. All I know is the desire sensor works. Not that I actively want here, like I have just not seen a nameless here after farming for days. Took a quick peek at a video earlier that was just like, oh yeah, no, a nice company. Yeah, no, it should take about like 20 runs, just alchem and go. Like, I've done more than that for residents. Didn't just alchem go them, right? Like I did, I'm scaring them a little bit, trying to get some decent stuff out of it, but this is pretty good. If I can get. Oh yeah, we got one. Nice. Yeah, the only thing is I don't know if maybe the incursion, like, and the incursion scarab might be fucking with it a little bit. Hmm. We don't know how it works. I don't know. I kind of sometimes I don't agree with that. How like tight-lipped companies want to be about uh like how certain mechanics get triggered. Because Nameless Seer was kind of interesting because you could RNG Nameless Seer or you could have the Scarab. I'm thinking you could have both. Like it was both ways to get it. Oh wait, no, I think you could RNG it for Affliction, but then you couldn't get it, and then it was the Scarab only. But then you could now you can RNG the Nameless Seer. I think it'd be nice if there was like a Scarab that just guaranteed you having either Nameless Seer or Reflecting Mist in your like to spawn on your map. Just guarantee it. I wish I could figure out how to like replicate the bug of having the mobs spawn for petrified ember, but like the tree be immune. Mhm. You know, for having my Atlas spec for like 100% increase to 100% increase the scouting reports to drop. Not as many dropping as I was expecting. To be fair, I still think I get like I think I get like a couple per map, but I was kind of expecting like, if I'm being perfectly honest. Uh, Hoping that those three monsters are like three random monsters hitting the tree that then get fight Ember. Oh my, the Hoffa Michael. Maybe they fixed it. I don't even know what was causing it to begin with. I was say I know I have one more of those. You know what? Okay, we ball. If it just goes all red, with like whatever white sockets and then everything else is red, then we're winning. Shit. Going all right. The cruelty back on. Take care of it. There it is. I kind of wish like this effect was on. Right? Like if we turn this off, like I kind of wish this weapon add this effect on it, so that way you could visibly see that you have the special, the special version, you know, because this is I think this is Warlords. Thing would be a neat little feature. Little World of Warcraft esque in there, right? Where the enchant on the weapon has a visual effect. Shrug. No, just saying. Would be interesting. Yeah, this is probably the axe I'm gonna try to yellow roll. And if I get this to be stronger than the two-handed mace, then I'm just gonna swap to this. And then well, I'd have to like roll his like I'd have to change the last jewel, all that jazz, but it'd be fine. Oats brought. Oh yeah, they can definitely solo Lua. My boats. They're divine in there. Probably not. I look for divines recently. Kind of me. We'll do one more batch of these. And I'll just save those for later. How much chaos after selling the tattoos? We were sitting at like 1,000 something for the longest time. And now it's like we're at like 2.3K. 2.3K vibing. I've never actually done beach chip. I don't know what it entails. I'm assuming it's just a shit ton of harbingers. Right, imagine Beachhead to just have been just overwhelming amount of Harbinger. Harbinger here, Harbinger there. I guess it's probably more helpful if I just have the map myself and then you know, give it more stuff. Even though I don't know, you can like the scarabs and stuff like that can affect the beachhead map. I never ran one before. I think I got one last league. I just never got around to running it. I'm slightly curious where harbingers like are from. Because like I loosely understand the lore for some of the stuff for the Atlas. Like if I'm mistaken, Sirius, like the Conquerors are basically us from a different timeline. And I think Sirius is supposed to be Kirak from a different timeline. And I'm assuming Harbingers are from that whole different like multiverse Atlas shenanigans. I wonder if I had been running the links, cruelty link instead. If that would have done anything for delirium. Oh, we got an annulment shard out of it. Legions. The rippling thoughts. Grants summon Harbinger of the Arcane skill, triggers level 20 Stormcast having your attack. Does increase fizz. Pretty shit stats, to be honest. Looking at it, stats on it don't seem very good. Okay, I doubt you can disenchant. Alright, we have another comprehensive. Okay. I thought that maybe I was like, oh, well, we got the beachhead off of that. Maybe we get Doriani's off the next one. Less cool. To be fair, I feel like I used up a decent amount. I like being able to get the two transfigured gems I wanted the most. Probably good. Oh yeah, so kind of like what I was mentioning earlier, I kind of wish they would just tell us how the name. Like I don't really mind it being a case, like in certain cases of figure it out yourself kind of deal. But something like the nameless seer seems so hard to kind of truly figure out the parameters involved with it. That I think all we really know for a fact is that it's attached to killing mobs. But we don't know the exact specifics. Like, does having more packs on the more pack size, is that good? Is that bad? Like stuff like that. I think all we know is that it has to be tier 16 or higher. Or at least at the very least red maps. I don't remember. No, I think it's Wild West is tier 16 or higher, but I don't remember those are worth anything. Oh yeah, I was watching another video where a guy was talking about like the rune, right? And, like the current kind of issues with like power runes, how they're prohibitively fucking expensive for most casual players because the really fun and interesting rune crafts require ludicrous amounts of power runes, and power runes have an extremely low rate. Even though I think doing the Verisium one, I think Verisium might have like a secret multiplier or something for it, because I like half of my runes, my power runes so far have come from just sending 5 Verisium bars to Ribbonfell. I'm kind of curious if there's some sort of connection there. Because meanwhile, like all of my other ones I've ever done with like a couple million, I don't think I've done one. I don't think I've been able to send one that's like the 5 million, but I've definitely sent like 2, 3 million ones before. I think the biggest one I've done is like 4 mil or close to. I know I've done one over 3 mil before, or a couple over 3 mil, I would say, because of the enchanting dust. But I haven't done a whole lot with with the big ones, but I never got any power runes from my shipments until I started doing the Verisium ones. And considering that, I think it's probably now been about a week since I've done them, since I've been doing those shipments consistently. Maybe it's a little bit over, and they've netted me 2 power runes. Like, I think there might be some. Oh, nice. Some relevancy to maybe saying if Verisium has some sort of like multiplier for power runes, but I also wouldn't want them to check because if they check and it ends up being a bug, I'd be kind of sad if they fixed it. But anyway, I need this to give me my Dorianis so I can put my Atlas back to being. Oh wait, hold up. I was gonna sell herbs. Even I mean, I was going to. It's not like I need to. I have like 2.3k chaos. I'm pretty sure I have more than enough chaos to do any of the farming strats that I like. Well, like do my little quasi farming strats I like to do. Not really farming strats. I just toss a bunch of shit in my maps. I let them go ham. But I'll sell these. Those usually go for a good amount. Was it multitude? Oh, these have dropped off a little bit. So those used to be worth a good amount. I think the last time I sold them, they were over 10 chaos a piece. For just the quick fill orders. So they're down to 8. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt they'll do anything to it, but especially because we're what 2 months out from the beta on PoE2. I don't think they're gonna do anything sort of crazy updates to this league, especially because it's relatively stable. But it would be nice if we could trade one or like for another, like one bar type for another, and if they like slightly increase the chances of the Black Knight spawning, would also be nice. Also, I'm pretty sure I have more than enough gold to have map runners going while I'm doing that. Just in case Cezanne pops up. Distant physical resist D's. Mouth. Ace. Having some pretty decent luck with the comprehensives dropping though. When I first changed the atlas, I think I got like one, and I think I ran like 10 maps. Now we've gotten some pretty decent turnouts for it. So maybe we can do maybe we'll be able to get that Oriani's Machinarium soon. I'm also just saving up Polaric invitations to try get that one done too. That one's also really easy to get done. I just need to get enough Polaric invitations for it. I've also been trying to roll them pretty high. That way we get a good amount of fires up. I don't know, I kind of just want to focus on doing this because if we could get that nameless seer scried over, and then get the comprehensive, like the Dorianis, get all that done, be better, and then I can kind of continue planning out the last couple challenges I need. I just need to make sure I remember about the comprehensive atlas codes for next league if they keep that in. And then I think I need to either just do upgrades for either this guy or uh, the other guy. Probably good. And do another reattempt at tier 17s. I also wonder if maybe it's because there's a pack of mobs in the boss room. Fucks with. I don't know. Nameless series is mildly annoying me. It maybe anybody. Uh, I guess nobody's. Oh, that was fast. Let's go. Crying tears down my face. Yeah, okay, after I finish these scarabs, I'm probably just gonna go back to the old strat that I used to do, which was Elder, Hordes, Adverse, and Monstrous Lineage. And then if we do that, and then if Nameless Seer spawns off of that, then it means that the Invasion Scarabs probably fucks with it somehow. But if not, then it's still fine, because I'd rather just run that. I mean, we get a decent amount of gold either way. Even though I think we get slightly more gold with that other way because we get more. Open the map. I have to remember after this map to go set up my map runners. So that way, in case Sazan appears. Yeah. All right. So I was mentioning earlier. Sorry, my brain's like all over the place on that. Yeah. But I was watching a video that was talking about the whole issue with the power runes, right? Where right now they're ridiculously expensive. Because I think it's like, I think the last time I looked, it was 7 divines per. They might be more expensive now. Even though that's also partially due to the fact that as inflation, because a lot of times things tend to get more expensive throughout the league because more people have more like currency to drop. To be honest, I feel part of it is in the fact that like things like Sanctum exist where people can pump out divines, so things become pretty high up there. But even without inflation, it also kind of is. I mean, it's a bit of a moot point. I kind of just bring it up just because people talk about it. But the reason I say it's a bit of a moot point is because a lot of people like to point at Sanctum and be like, "Ooh, you're pumping out divine. That's why everything's so expensive." And it's like, even if they weren't pumping out divines, you wouldn't be able to afford it. Like, like things don't just magically get that much cheaper. Like, it's not gonna put it in your wheelhouse because you still can't do the things that would net you enough to get what the price for those would be. So I don't necessarily think that's the problem. Not to mention in this league, like I'd say 2/3 of my divines came from came from fucking uh from the boats. Gotten so many divs from that. And I think I've gotten like a couple divines from my map runners, and then I've gotten a couple raw divines. Well, probably like about a third of my divines are from raw divines. I got one earlier today before stream. While I was mapping to kind of get the game warmed up. But he was kind of mentioning the fact of like less from the he was tackling it less from the aspect of like how there should be more access to power runes because a lot of people kind of like they tackle the power rune problem from that angle, right? They're like, well, there should be more power runes, right? Like power runes should be easier to get so that way more people can enjoy the mechanic. Which I mean, that is an argument. That argument has some legs to stand on when it's like the like inside the active league thing. But to be honest, as someone who's played MMOs, I also see that you need to have like a carrot to chase for the people that really just grind the shit out of the game. Because if they can just achieve all their goals like really easily, because some of those, some of those are pretty nutty. The runes. So like if just everybody could make them, then that'd probably be a little bit of a problem. Even though actually, now that I think about it, now that I actually think about it, if uh Necropolis might have been slightly less egregious to the to the player base if you could have sold corpses on the auction house. Like if they flipped the leagues, right, and settlers was before Necropolis, but then they had kind of allowed for things that have eye level but can't be changed, right? So like forbidden tomes, right? They come with different eye levels, but it's not like you can do anything to them. You don't quality them, you don't alch them, stuff like that. You just use them. Uh, like if they allow for stuff like that to be sold, then what they could have done was they could have in Necropolis, if they had allowed the corpses to be sold on the currency exchange, at the very least, like the high level, like that level 83 ones, uh, probably would have been a lot better. Probably would have been a lot better. Probably would have gotten a lot less flack for it if than they did, because people would have had a easier way that wouldn't have to deal with the trade system. So kind of a little thing. It's just I think the problem with Necropolis was that it had three problems. One, it was a crafting league, and it was a crafting league in the vein of you had to understand how the weights for systems work and stuff like that. Because like recombinators, you kind of have to understand some, but not really, right? It's recombinators are it's like have X number of mods on this one, have X number of mods on this one, have these types of mods, and you're good, right? So it still has some finesse to it, but it's a lot less complicated than understanding the weight system like you had to in Necropolis to try to figure all that shit out. So that was like its first issue. Its second issue is that the mechanic couldn't be turned off, i.e., you had a map that could roll some extremely dangerous mods post rolling your maps already, and then you tack on the fact that unlike the map modifiers, you can't do jack shit about the lantern mods, right? Because you can't turn it off, and that also left a really bad taste in people's mouth. Uh, and then thirdly was that it was basically a trade league, also, because if you wanted to do more than just a craft, you basically had to do trade. Yeah, because you had to trade for the coffins, just because from what I could hear, even with out of portals. I am out of portals. Oh shit. I didn't pay attention to that. There should be some on the floor around here. But there's also more than 50 monsters. I guess I should go clean that up. But it's just the case of I had too many points of what people don't like from the game. That I think if they had the player auction house, because to be fair, the first point gets kind of smoothed out with streamers and content creators, because obviously that's good for them, because then they can make videos of being like, hey, if you want to craft like this weapon and get these mods, here's how. So for community stuff, for people that they consume PoE content, and for people that make it, it's really good because it gives them stuff to make videos on and stuff like that. So that one, I don't really think it's too much of a problem, because I watched so many videos on how to set up, like what corpses you needed and how to set up for a crafter, like wands and shit, even though I never planned on doing it and stuff like that, because Archmage, right? So everybody and their mothers had a build guide out for making the wands on Archmage and the armor and stuff like that. But the the second one could have been assuaged by just not enforcing the mechanic to be always on. Like it probably would have been more work, but I honestly think uh the spot that had the spot that had your all flame embers, which ironically enough, the stash display on the map showed you having more slots than you actually had in the stash for the all flame members. I thought that was kind of amusing. But I think that what it should have been is it should have just been you if you put your map in there, you then infuse it with the lantern, and then it would have the mods like the things active. But at the same point, like they would still have had to somehow allow for the like the corpses to be uh obtained. Would have been kind of jank, but I think they had a couple different ways they could have done it. Oh, there's a mod. Oh, because maybe name. We tried. But I think there was definitely better ways to handle it. I think the biggest one would have been just allowing us to turn the lantern off. But I think the biggest gripe when it came to the crafting part was just the obtaining of the corpses, because like regardless of how you felt about it, if you weren't some like regardless of which side you fell on, like either you got the corpses and you didn't want to use them, or you wanted to use the corpses but you were having like dog shit luck to get them. If you had the corpses, you didn't want to use them. You generally and you're just like they're fucking there, and you just toss them. Generally, probably means you're not real big on trade, which is probably where most people fall under. And then on the other side, if you were someone who had a bunch of, wanted to use a bunch of corpses, but you didn't, it was annoying to interact with the trade system because you're constantly trying to whisper people, but they're not like responding because, that's just PoE trade. I feel both of those aspects could have kind of been soothed if like the auction house, like the player currency exchange had been available in that league. And if it had allowed for at least the selling of item level 83 corpses. So they allowed for those two together, right? Like currency exchange being a thing and edge. And the ability to sell corpses through the currency exchange. People probably would have been a lot more whatchamacallit, a lot more welcoming, I feel, to Necropolis. People still would have been annoyed at the fact that you have a league mechanic that you literally can't not engage with. So kind of would have been up shit creek with that one, but I think it would have netted them a lot nicer. Oops, almost did the thing I usually set up, but I set sail. But I think like those two things combined in the long run more than likely would have softened people's annoyances over the league mechanic. I know it would have done so for me. Like I can say that from a personal standpoint. If I could have at least like sold the corpses that I was being forced to have to deal with, then I would have been a lot more oh wow, shit, those are worth a lot. Fuck. Those are both exactly. But like I definitely would have probably been a lot less annoyed by it. Well, I still would have been annoyed with it. But it was also just the fact that like Melee was kind of a shit show, so doubled down on it with the fact that the it was a pretty rough league with a lot of things that hit really hard. It was had a lot of pain points involved, but I don't know. Because I was kind of excited for it. It seemed kind of fun. Also, just the layout for the fucking graveyard was so fucking annoying. Like how you had that one spot where there were the two graves that were technically right next adjacent to each other because they were the same distance as everywhere else, but like visually looked adjacent. But when you moused over them, they weren't adjacent because there was a fucking lamppost there that just fucked with it, and people didn't realize for the longest time and stuff like that. There's also the fact that they could have just broken up the plots a bit more, so that way you couldn't craft these like super crazy things, which probably was also part of the reason because people would see all these super crazy crafts and then they would try to go replicate it and then they couldn't because trying to get your hands on the corpses was painful. Like I feel like a lot of it was just a bit oversight from uh just a lot of pain points that I think that if they had more time to invest on the league, because I honestly think these last couple of leagues were them just putting stuff in so that they wouldn't, just to have things in there. Because Necropolis definitely had a lot of like back end things that had to be done for it to work, but in like the actual depth of it, it wasn't very nutty. I would say, which I mean, I guess you could say that about most leagues, not all of them. But it's literally corpse drops, rolls certain mod, grab corpse, toss in graveyard, craft item. Not a whole lot going on, right? Like there was no, hey, here's four corpses that if you get them, they give you this boss that you fight, right? Like you don't have any Wildwood King of the Mist style stuff where as you're exploring Wildwood you can get the boss fight and stuff like that. You don't have like an extra area. I honestly fully expected Erimir to be kind of like Ushati, who they're there to help you, but then at a certain point it's like, hey, there's a boss fight attached to it. Never was a thing. So I was like, kind of weird, but okay. Stuff like that. That's why I say Necropolis is kind of like me. Didn't really have a whole lot going on. But just I mean, shit happens. Shit happens in you flesh, as the saying goes. Oh wait, where's the I need to see if they can run. But yeah, it's just kind of how it goes. I'm also starting to run a little low on alchemy ores. I had like over 2,000 and 1,500. Let's go. Tier 14 or high. I think these other guys. Tier 14 rare maps. Oh. If it's not 1%, I'm not gonna. Because those bastards on 1% will die like flies anyway. But Oda honestly was one that I was really excited for, and then when it came out to like how it actually played and how you had to play the stuff to kind of get into it, I lost most interest in it. Because I think for the most part, most of us kind of assumed it would be something similar to like the shipping and the mappers, where you kind of just grab them, toss them in there, and then let them do their thing while you go off and do your thing. Which I think probably would have been like, do some football manager gameplay, like gaming stuff like that. But we had to actively participate, and the builds that were, you know, could participate were wait, did I accidentally toss it? No, there's no way I put all my residents. Oh, there you are. Just the way you had to play them, I feel like not just me, it turned a lot of people off from it. Not to mention they had to do a bunch of like changes to it, because every time someone found a way to like cheese the uh the Tota thing to get a lot of like, currency and stuff, they then had to change how it works. Because I remember there was the knockback one where you would use the what is it? I think it was the gloves that gave you knockback, like a shit ton of knockback, and you would just stand on your side and just permanently knock back the guys away from the totems. There's some like you did something that kept the NPCs, like the enemy NPCs, away from everything, and then you were able to just channel all the totems. Like your NPCs could channel all the totems, and then it didn't really matter, stuff like that. And they ended up like patching that. Uh, Even though I think it ended up being the dodge block one. That's kind of the big one after that, with the quiver, where you just built your character to like just not get hit, so that way it couldn't. They would just miss while you channeled, and then you wouldn't get stunned. Like it was very not very good. Realistically, what they probably should have done was make it so you would, as you were mapping, right, you would fight, like there would be packs of the different tribes running around, and as you know beat up the packs, it would quote unquote drop, like kind of like the all flame members, like drop a teammate that you could then put into your team. I think that would have been better, and then you just have the teams just duke it out. Like just do a thing where you, like, it could have been real time like this, where it's like, oh, it takes like this match will take like 15-20 minutes, and you could have like a couple teams going at the same time via different like routes, and then I don't know. There was a couple different ways, but that one would definitely take a lot more work than probably they wanted to do. But like I could like kind of like think of a couple different ways they could have done Tota, where I feel more people would have been a bit more into it, because I was expecting it to be something kind of like TFT when they were like auto chess. I was like, hey yo, auto chess. Well, someone told me, I don't know if they said it or someone like a video I was watching was saying it was gonna be like auto chess. So then I was just like, oh shit, TFT. And then it was like, no, auto battler. And then I was like, oh, okay, so something like AFK arena. And then we ended up having to be like a part of the fighting. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to fucking here. I want to be mapping. I don't know. Ew, consecrated ground patch. My ass. But yeah, it's just, you know, happens. At least they tried it out. At least we got some interesting like uniques out of it. Defiance of Destiny, Utilus Hungers, Rocky out his dance, which for whatever reason was made a tier 0 instead of a tier 1. I don't personally agree with that, but shrug shoulders. Probably also just me being salty because I never got one. Because I kind of just gave up on Tota. Because, well, when you play Bounce Shatter, Bounce Shatter was not very good for Tota. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thunked? Never better than Toto. Yeah, I knew a couple people that they tried like Toto once, and then they just they like never touched it. The whole league. They just basically just played the game. That's what I did too. I tried doing Toto a couple times, and then I think I tried it with my Bell and Shatter, and I was just like, maybe I'll try this a couple times. Maybe it'll get better, and it just got worse. Like the higher, the higher I got into it, and then I think I ended up doing the getting the stuff for the Glacial Hammer build, and that was slightly better because I could like freeze things and chill stuff. And then I just gave up. I was like, fuck this. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be here anymore. That fucking turtle, bro. That turtle when he's like in the middle and he just does his stupid song and he's tanky as fuck and he just immunes all the goddamn totems around him, including his own. Like, get out of my fucking house, dog. Jeez. Crimson Temple slave? Or like Crimson Temple Freedom, to be honest. I think because like I think if I had kind of gotten into Magic Finding a little more that league, I probably would have played more. So I played the as much as I usually played then, which was like about a month and a half before I stopped. But I definitely didn't play like as committed as I have this league. This league, like, bruh, this league I'm kind of nostalgic for my playtime, not for the actual like. Well, I guess to some degree the actual play, because I have. If I'm not streaming 15 during the day, like if I'm on the weekend, all I'm playing is Path of Exile. I play on the weekend. Just mindlessly farm, like mapping, just not even thinking about it. Don't even care. I'm just like, I just want to map. Like nothing. Like I have games that I could play. And I'm just like, no, we're mapping, baby. I don't know. I'm having a blast, and it's the league that so far like. If this was any of the other leagues, I'd have like 6 characters right now at like level 80 something. This league, I have 2 characters. One's 90. I mean, I technically have 3, but the Warden again kind of doesn't exist. But one's like 97. The other one, well, this one's 97. The other one's 98. Or Apothecary's that league in a freaking mirror. Oh, eating good that league. Like how mindless people is. Yeah, it's probably one of the main reason. Like Diablo 3, the only reason I put so many hours into Diablo 3 is it was my game whenever I was like, I want to play something, but I don't want to have to think, and I want to be able to watch like streams and Netflix. So I just get on my Whirlwind Barbarian and then just run Greater Rifts while literally not paying attention because I would just be fucking unkillable. So I just have Tacit of the Waste with my Bolcathos weapons and I'm just like spinning and I don't care. I'd look over like every 2 minutes to be like, oh wait, the boss isn't dead. Ren's continues spinning. It's Ren's anyway, goes back to spinning. But PoE, like, I guess that was part of the issue is like with PoE is I can kind of do that now because it's like I played this build. Okay. To be honest, my other build is fine too. My Chieftain build, the regen on it is like pretty good. It's like good enough that I can run him in tier 16s without really like just half paying attention unless I did something dumb like accidentally taking the reduced recovery map mod because I wasn't paying attention because I don't have a regex because I'm lazy. I'm too lazy to click a couple buttons. So it's been pretty nice. But yeah, it's just like just map and go. Map and go. I'm having fun on the characters I'm playing. I don't know. Like the problem is that in order to upgrade my chieftain, I have to like turn on POB and POB my chieftain and try to figure out if it's worth swapping him back to two-handed axes for the fire resistance buff because I do have a 27% quality Vol axe just sitting in my inventory. Or if I just YOLO put the elemental damage, percentage physical as every element one, which is what most people are using. on their mallets. But I feel like that one's a bit more prone to depresso because if you hit the 30%, I think you're just kind of fucked. I think you need like 45 or higher. I'm saying. Just 8 mud maps with ghosts exiles feels pretty strong already, so to not care, oh, that's the life. Yeah. Yeah, show me the money. So let me see how cracked out that build is. My builds are usually like pretty mid range. I've never had anything super cracked out. Mostly because I don't try to. Well, that and because in order to actually crack out the build, I need calls it timeless jewels, and I just don't feel like dealing with that. I need a timeless jewel and for sure the Perandus or whatever it's called, light of meaning. I'm just gonna keep calling it Perandus back. That's what it is. But I'm trying to get those. I just haven't had a nameless thingy spawn in a while. I haven't been able to run those and opium prage for one. Oh, you're using the gloves. Oh, you have to with +1. Oh, bro, that corrupted. Disgusting. I corrupted my extra ones today, and neither of them got anything good. Oh, you're doing the frostblade of Catabasis. How fun is that? Like, I was curious about doing that one, but the problem is I don't have a Relicash. I do have white ones though. I've heard it's pretty good with white ones. A lot better than any ones I ever did. Once you get Relicash and each ever busted, auto aims, off screen stuff. Oof. Where's the boss? Wait. That's kind of like, well, that kind of feels like volcanic fish or snaking, which is what I use on my other character. I love that skill. Slam it out a couple times, it just goes and does its own thing. Makes my life easier. There's some builds on it I've seen that when it gets kind of juicy, you just kill everything. My single target's kind of meh on it right now because, well, I need a better weapon. Well, I have a 680 mallet, but like it's really nice. Like the amount of times I'll like, I'll I'm just like walking through a map and I'll throw out like 3 fissures and I'll like look away and I look back and there's a tink and it's off in the distance in an area that I haven't explored. Just cracks me up. One of my favorite things from that build. I was just like, oh shit. One phase Uber X. That's insane. I watched the video because what was it? Because that was one of the ones where there was a guy who was talking about well, there was a couple people talking about it, but I remember there was some people I saw one guy's video on it where they were POBing it with the numbers and everything. And then there was another guy who was just like, the numbers aren't real, you know? He's like, the numbers aren't real. And he had a pretty well written out video for like why it wouldn't work. And then the league started and it's kind of gross. I'm like, I don't think this video very, very well. Yeah, like I wanted to try that. I wanted to try that for my second build because I had the white wand and I have the southbound gloves, but when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't really see the point in doing that because it looked like it could do similar things to my uh, volcanic fissure of snaking. And my intention had been to get something that was a bit more single target focused. And then Garotha put out his video, so I just made this build. I was like, fuck. But now I'm trying to get. I just need an ungoal to drop. If I could get an ungoal to drop, life would be. They basically have most of everything else I need. At least get the stuff up and running. Okay. Where's the air with detonate? Over here? No. Just a regular dude. Where's the thing with detonate dead? What is this shit? I also, well, it's kind of funny because there's actually a build that if I somehow and get an Iron Fortress, I'm going to just have to hard learn and grind heist to get the replica Oberons. As I have an Astramentus and I have an Eye of like a crown of eyes. So at that point, I might as well just do Molten Strike of the Zenith Juggernaut. And I don't know how many power runes I need for the return projectile on the Great Sword though, but I have 4. I don't know if I need more than that. The only problem is that I think it's Trinity, and I hate Trinity builds. It's the main reason I stopped playing the Warden, because I was trying out Mathel's like Volcanic Fissure of Snaking, the Warden one, but he runs it with Trinity, and I don't like having to balance my elemental damages. I'm lazy. I just want to deal 1 damage type, make it deal a shit ton of damage, and call it good. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had heard. I'd watched a couple of videos on it because I kept an eye on it because I was like, oh, I like playing like the new stuff. That's why I did like a Chieftain Slam because I was like, Chieftain got new ascendancies. The slams were pretty good. And then I saw the Catabasis one and I was like, oh, Frostblade or Catabasis seemed kind of interesting of a skill. So I kept an eye on it. And then for the most part, that's what I saw is they were just like, once you get, like you need a Ralikesh and then you need the Claw. And with that, the single target on it is insane. But without that, it's, oh, hey. I need another one of these. So I can get another aiming. But it was just like, that's why I didn't do it. Because I was like, I might as well just do something else. Because of anything, I was going to see if a Lacerate of Butchering Bleed build would, with Slayer, would be any good. I love Lacerate of Butchering. It's probably like one of my favorite skills. I'd say it's probably like top 3 for me. Just having like in like a fourth to like a third of my screen just be the waves getting thrown out. And it was pretty good. I did it in an affliction. When I got fed up when I got fed up dying in the Wildwoods because I was getting off screened on my Bone Shatter Slayer, I just retooled my Slayer to be for Lacerate. And it was a lot more effective than I was expecting, honestly. Tornado shot and like it's just the rehab. DGG is, DGG put all the tornado shot bros into rehab. They're like, it's time. It's time. We tried to give you guys a 10-step program, but you guys wouldn't listen. So now it's Tornado shot prohibition era. They're trying to save you from yourself. Even though, what is it? I think isn't elemental hit of the spectrum like the new tornado shot or something? I don't know how many videos I've seen of people talking about how busted that is for a bow build. Tornado shot isn't broken. True, true. If you close your eyes, right, you can still get it all. You can still get it all. It's okay. I don't know. I've always been pretty melee focused. Like I think the first league I've tried to do something that wasn't melee was Necropolis, and then it was Bama, which Bama, ironically enough, hurt my wrist more than melee did. But you know, shit happens. I spawned this pack here. It's very balanced. True, true. It's just like I wish somebody made like a meme PoE wiki where every single skill had been just tornado shot, and they're like, look, it's balanced. Every skill gem in the game deals the same damage as tornado shot, and it's just a wiki where every single like gem, it's like the same image. It's just named tornado shot instead. I would have laughed. To me, that would have been hilarious if someone went that far. Like, it's balanced. Trust. You just gotta believe. Oh, do I Gamba the replica again? I'm Faustus. Where's the replica? Divination card. Chaos. We have enough? We do. Gamba. There's a replica Quill Rain? What the fuck? Arrow Nova. I didn't know this existed. I feel like that's not like the worst random level one. You know, we'll gamble one more time. Look at Void Walker. Does look like. Oh, pretty. This is why I wish you could like skin uniques over and then have like the effects work. Because if that was the case, I would take that one. What is it? This one? This helmet? The Devoto's Devotion, and just fucking skin that on everything. So you'd always have like the Mercury footprints. Saying, you know, BGG would be nice. Yeah, replica Quilrin gives you level 1 Arrow Nova. Increased fish. To be honest, it doesn't sound that bad. Minus the Arrow Nova. I don't know how. Arrow Nova is the one that forces it to shoot out like a circle, yeah. Yeah, shoot out in a circle. That honestly doesn't seem too terrible for like a leveling thing. I just never plan on doing a Bowther. 10% increased damage taken while phasing. You have phasing if you killed or something. Projectiles chain plus 1 times while you have phasing. hold on to them. How much? You know, we'll do it. We'll do a couple more. I feel like gambling some of these. All right. We'll stop at 3. Also relatively cheap. I doubt I'm gonna get anything good out of it, but who the fuck knows? What do you got? Sorrow of the Divine. Replica of Last Resort. Replica of Bysius, I think. I feel like I've heard of a build that uses this before. Does Bysius have its own? Oh, it does. It still cracks me up whenever I find a unique that doesn't have like an in-game model. That still isn't fixed. Wait. Yeah, item rarity bonus. But I'm pretty sure level 1 is still supposed to have like some of the feathers. Yeah, because you can kind of see the effect going off right there. I don't know why it's not showing. They like forked it a little bit. I don't want to see his face. Put the mask back on. Yeah, that's been my like pastime gamba. People gamba by buying like apothecaries and trying to get the wild, the the harvest thingamajig. I gamba by sometimes by, that's 50,000. God, that's pretty nice. Actually, just for shits and giggles, is there anybody actually using that? I don't think so. It doesn't seem very good. 0.4%. What's the build? Flicker Strike Slayer. Corrupted. Is it actually good for Flicker Strike? I see like a bunch of Flicker Strike having it. Oh, it's because mine low rolled. By a bit, I mean like a lot. Low rolled on the melee crit strike multiplier. You know what? We'll keep it. We'll keep it. Why not? Probably gonna be the best thing we'll get out of it. Yeah, I like to just gamble by buying the replica Eldritch Battery during effect. Interesting. I'm never using it. But yeah, I'll gamba the replicas. I'll just the replica cards. I'll buy like a couple of them and then I'll toss them in and see what I get. I haven't got anything good. Or at least I haven't gotten anything that I would use. Until now. This one might see some use. Because I've been debating if I want to do a Flicker Strike build. Because there's been a lot of guides for it recently. And even though I'm a melee enthusiast, Flicker Strike is probably the single. Well, most of the. I'd say anything that's not like a red skill, I haven't actually tried for melees very much. Except for Lacerate of the Butchering. But yeah, I think I'm going to try Lacerate of the Butchering. The problem is, I don't know if I should do it as Gladiator or do it uh as Slayer. Because I was thinking Slayer because Leech. But I feel like going for jagged techniques with uh I guess weapon master, but it'd have to be like war of attrition for the next one because I can't dual wield. Yeah, this is why like I wasn't thinking about this because it's like the only real use would be for gratuitous and jagged technique, as the axe bonus is kind of whatever. I mean, like it's not the worst because it'd be good for like bossing, like once you get them down to 50%. Because then you could also stack punishment with it. Because it's 30% more damage. It's a decent amount. The problem though is like our only real fourth node is War of Attrition, which is not the best. Because you have to use a two-handed weapon, and I think it has to be like a two-handed axe or a sword. Neither of which can block. So retaliation, measured retaliation doesn't do shit for us. Uh I think most of the good retaliation skills require either a shield or dual wielding. Well, a shield for the most part. Because like crushing fist is all right, but it's too slow, in my opinion. Like I think they need to speed up the cast of crushing fist. Because when you compare it to eviscerate, it's like it's fucking molasses in comparison when you use it. Like there's situations that I've been in early on before I got all the gear I have now, like with the block recovery, block HP and all that, where casting crushing fist would like I would just die. Because if I tried casting it, crushing fist took way too long to actually cast, so then I would just die while getting hit because I wouldn't have like any damage. Because Blade Storm wouldn't heal me enough. Because Blade Storm gives a nice little consistent batch of leech, but it's not perfect. It's definitely kept me alive when I haven't had like flasks and stuff and I'm waiting to get hit for retaliation. But the problem is like eviscerate, pretty sure, yeah, requires a sword or axe and the shield. Like if they got rid of the and the shield part, you could, like I actually don't understand why they did that. Why they added and a shield? Because there's this node. Damaging retaliation skills become usable every sixth hit from enemies instead. Because this one requires like I know it's like it's against blocked, but and I guess they were afraid of what would happen if you could dual wield while using eviscerate, because eviscerate deals a shit ton of damage without dual wielding. Because dual wielding gladiator is actually kind of nutty. Smokey league started dual wield lightning strike gladiator, and it was kind of spicy because it makes use of all the block nodes. And then she was leveraging the weapon master nodes with like a claw and a dagger to get the insta leech and the crit. Petrified Amber mocks me. Yeah, I have a feeling like one of my scarabs is fucking with a nameless seer spawn. And I think it might be the incursion one. But I'm not 100% sure. It could also just be the map plays weird with it. But yeah, that's why like I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go Slayer, just because there's just not enough. There's only really two nodes that are good for Gladiator for running it. Like it would make more sense to go Slayer and then steal the every bleed aggravates rather than go Gladiator. Because I'm thinking Slayer also gives you attack speed. And then Master for form is just would just be too good for it. So yeah, it would probably have to be Slayer. It'd probably have to be Slayer, and then I'd have to just run what I do on this build, which is get the implicit for aggravate on the gloves, and then get quality on vulnerability, while also taking that bleed one that gives you 10% chance to aggravate. Because you generally run multi-strike on even last rate of butchering anyway. So it should be fine. And I have a Sundering Axe, so I wouldn't really need to invest into... I think I wouldn't need to have to do chance to bleed, like support Jill on it. To get the bleed chance. I guess I could check if anybody's doing last rate of butchering. Which is I'm afraid to check and it just be like last league all over again where everybody was just doing the general cry version. The general cry crit version. Because I was doing the precise technique one. We just take precise technique and you multi-strike. That's pretty good. Wasn't bad. Yeah, I could also stick with crit because you can take those bleed nodes that give you a shit ton of crit. Off, I'm trying to open my thingy. All right, like if you went bleed, we just make our way over here. Grab like these three with the crit. Oh, we could also take that. Ooh, I didn't realize that 25 chance to aggravate bleeding on a target you hit with exerted attacks. So I was thinking of doing that, adding exerts in with auto exertion. Nah, fuck that node. We'll just come over, grab crit, grab that node. Probably go this way to grab Desire of Slaughter. Move speed, evasion, attack speed, some damage. Chance for Frenzy on kill would be good for mapping. I think that might work. Because then you just take this for damage over time. And then I would need one more, like another bleed one. Another good bleed one. So I never get anything done when I'm like planning another build. My brain's just constantly thinking about what to do. Yeah, we could go that way. Take this one. That's something I wish they would change where, like for instance, in the Atlas, right? When you click this, it shows you all the other ones on it. I kind of wish they would add that to the passive tree. Like if I don't have like a passive, like maybe like do a keybind or something instead of having to search for it. Like if I hold Alt or Control, it just highlights everything. Like all the mastery is like that. That'd be kind of nice little quality of life feature. No, because it's leech. Not as many blade ones as I expecting. I swear there was like an area, but I guess not. Because the problem is, These are kind of whatever since I don't plan on going crit. I just want to get this. So it would just be go here, grab this, go this way, grab that. Because we'd probably end up grabbing Vol Pact too. And then grab this to grab Savagery. And then probably just cut across to grab here. Or not. I mean, like, we have multiple ways because I would definitely grab like Wrecking Ball for sure. Even though it'd probably still be more efficient to just cut across here. So then we get a Jewel slot. And then with the Sundering Axe and grabbing like 30% here. Well, 45% here with the Sundering Axe probably means that I wouldn't. Yeah, I could probably use Fortify instead. And forego. I mean, to be fair, I do have the Fortify tattoo. I got one of those recently. Oh no, not a reflecting mist. I needed you to be a nameless seer. That'd be garbage anyway. Not reduced rarity. If I didn't have the reduced rarity, I actually would have been tempted to keep it. Okay. I don't know if the reflecting mist follow the same rules as nameless seer. I know they both spawn from killing stuff, but I don't know if they follow the same parameters. But I'm just going to blame that like existing for the reason why I'm not getting nameless seers here. Ice speeds on you. You take my nameless seer chances, and then you don't even give me the like actual item, the currency that people want. I can make shmoney. I can make the shmoney. Where'd you go? It died because I lost track of it. It just died in a corner by itself. I don't actually. Can you actually get like a usable jewelry from the reflecting mist, or is it literally just for trying to fish for the whatever it's called, the mist currency thingamajig? I always check the rings, but none of them are ever like super good. All right. We're at 29. We need 5 more challenges. I can definitely do this one. I just need to decide if I want to use my power runes for like lackadaisically or not. This one, hopefully a matter of time. This one's fucking taking 30 years to get done. That one's probably never. Completely honest, because I have to do empowered endgame labyrinth. No. I fucked this one up like so many times. I can't. Well, I can do this one. I just can't do it on this build. Crystal Kings. Yeah, that's not happening. King of the Mist. Too lazy to buy the invitations. So I think they're like 100 chaos a pop, 100 plus. So this one's probably not getting done. Extravagant equipment is probably gonna be the last one I do. I have half of them. But I have a Sacred Orb of Conquerors and a. No, I don't have half of them. I just have these two. No, I have these 3. This Tempering and then a Conquered Exalt. And I have enough divines to buy like Dominance, Conflict, and then Awakener's Orb. So I can finish this one, but I would require me dumping probably most, if not all, of my divines. So that's not happening. I can finish this one. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just need to run to tier 17, and I have almost 10 Maven shovels, and I could do this. Oh, yeah, I see it being doable. Or if I could just, not get hit like a dumbass while doing this. Anyway, it's achievable. That's probably the other reason I'm playing so much this league. Because this is the furthest I've ever gotten in the challenges, and like I can kind of see myself reaching my goal, which is getting that unique night finisher. Because most of the times the challenges I have to do are too annoying. Like I just don't feel like doing them. So I kind of hope that going forward the challenges stay like this, so I can at least get the tier 3 for the armor sets and stuff and be fancy. But that's the other thing. Usually I get like the tier 1, get kind of close to getting the tier 2. Never really finish getting the tier 2 because either I get bored of playing the league or I where's spawn the Where's the last one? Hey, bastard. Where are you? No, actually, seriously, where's the last one? Oh, there you are. I wish they would tighten up the spawns for the orichalcum a little bit. It's not too bad in like the opening areas, but when you're in like the little areas with a lot of like rooms and stuff, a lot of times it'll spawn things in corners away from it. Gets a little annoying. Also doesn't help that this map is like super dark. And they were just like the normal mobs, like they weren't even magic mobs, so I could kind of see their blue outlines. Because if it's a rare, I see that shit real quick. Because that yellow outline pops. The magic ones, a little harder to see, but they still pop. When it's just the normal dudes, I got nothing, dog. Blind as fuck. Come on. I don't know if they fixed it, but I was running into a bug the last couple of days where I would like pass by these, and then I would come back later, and they would, for some weird reason, the petrified amber mobs would be spawned, but the tree would be like immune to damage still because it was never activated. And then if I killed the mobs, I would just get the full value of the tree, which was pretty nice. Because this build can't do that. This build can't do it, and then my other build, like, there would always be some random bullshit that hits the tree, so I'd never full value anyway. I don't know, I kind of wish the petrified amber was just that. Basically just worked that way. There's just a big pack of mobs just there hitting the tree, and you just showed up, killed them, get the tree, move on. Like, I get it's like blight themed, so they're like tower defense, minus the towers. By the way, the rare mods also hit the tree. Lord forbid it does the lightning storm. Lord forbid you're standing next to the tree when the caustic orbs are there. Man, it would really suck if the molten shell on the target that's trying to get close to the tree, hits the tree and chunks it for a bunch. You can't see it, but I'm moving my arm like, yay. Yeah, that happened to me more times than I would care to admit. So I don't like interacting with the tree in general, but I need like 50,000? Anywhere from like 35 to like 50. I forget the number. I need a lot of petrified amber to do the shipping things. So probably just not going to ever advance any of my shipping, like rotate any of my shipping things. It'll be fine. Not really, I'm crying. I'm crying because Ribbonfell is like stuck on it, so I can't try to fish for Verisium. Honestly, I agree with someone else's suggestion of the ability to rotate, like use gold to, like even on like a cooldown, like doing it once every like couple hours or whatever, to just rotate the shipping requests manually because like Petrified Ember, as far as I can remember, doesn't have anything from any of the docks that I am interested in. Like I just don't care for any of it. Because like the armor and weapons are kind of important because tier 1 mods. So those are pretty good. I don't remember. I think it's Bismuth that gets you the ward gear. Because there's been some builds with ward where you use a reduced like basically it shortens the time for your ward to refresh by a lot. I don't know why I'm picking up that div card. And you can do Calgar. I know Calgar has one of the trade-ins that basically guarantees ward gear. So it makes it really easy to get the gear you need so you can get the suffixes for the ward refresh rate. So that one's kind of useful, but I don't think that's Petrified Ember. I think it's Bismuth. I don't remember. I have to look at my cheat. Great shape. What is thine wisdom? Yeah, it's Bismuth. I was right. Let me see. Petrified Ember, jewelry, don't care. Jewelry, don't care. Rings, don't. Belts, don't. Yeah. At least for me personally, like Petrified Ember is the one that I care about the least. So Petrified Ember is the one that I care about the least. It's the one that I think is the most annoying to deal with because you can just, for whatever reason, it's the only one that you can lose resource on. I don't know what that was on about. So that was kind of a weird design choice in my opinion. Like I guess it would be normal if like well not like normal, but I would have been like, well, you know, all the other ones have that too. Well, I mean, technically Verisium could, but it's less like you lose resources and more how much do you have faith in your build kind of deal. Like I know I can't fully charge the Verisium. The those uniques kind of tear my builds up. And they take longer than I feel like dealing with just to get a couple extra Verisium out of it. So I usually like stop at 80 to 100 before. Something like that. And that like little range. Enough to get a bunch of rares to spawn, but and get a lot of the node, but not enough to like spawn the uniques. Because the uniques kind of suck. Crucible goes burr. I'd probably be more willing to try it if, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of math or something that came out that was like, oh, the more you fully charge the Verisium, the more likely you get a Black Knight, but I'm pretty sure there's no relation there whatsoever. I don't actually know if anybody's like figured out if there's a relation to fishing for Black Knights aside from just running a shit ton of maps. Because I haven't had a Black Knight in like a week. I had one at the or like I'd one at the the beginning of the week, like on Sunday, and that one gave me a power rune. Haven't had another one since. So I don't really know what to do with it. That's kind of my main gripe, really. Because aside from the, I don't know about the Bandit Lord. I mean, I have had him spawn twice ever since I started having my mappers run tier 16s. So I'd say he has a pretty decent spawn rate. But the Black Knight has probably some of the shittiest spawn rate I've seen in a while. Which sucks because I'd like to try one of the Savalan builds, but I can't really try the Savalan builds because I can't even get the fight that would get me Savalan to spawn. So, little sad moments there. I don't care about. I don't know, but after we do the next 5, I'm gonna try to do Black Star with this build and see how it handles it. Cause my other build did pretty good, as long as, except for like there was one that was kind of rough, and that was because it had double, 100% plus damage, like physical damage as mods, and that made Black Star hurt bad. But yeah, I just find it really weird that Petrified Ember, it's like, oh, we're gonna copy Blight, but kind of make it worse. Because we're not gonna give you towers that are kind of like the great equalizer for most like between builds. Because there's obviously builds that are good for, like, that are better for Blight than like just any other build, but the fact that the towers exist kind of makes a decent little equalizer for the whole tower defense thing. Defend the objective shenanigans. But then Petrified, it's like, no. They're like, no, we're just gonna take out the tower part and then give it multiple spawn pulls. And then just make it where more than just the basic attack for the monster affects the tree. Thumbs up. And you can basically lose a whole tree for no real control of your own. But yeah, I don't know. If I'd change it, I'd just change it to be that. I'd change it away from the whole defend the tree thing to just, oh, it has a big pack of monsters around it and I have to just kill them, and then I get the resources. It would make it nicer. But if they're not going to do that, then it'd be nice to just have the ability to reroll shipping stuff. Either the ability to reroll shipping stuff, or at least the ability to convert bars to something else. It's like a different type of bar. Would be kind of sick. I think those are worth for disenchant. Disenchanting was so good, though. It was such a nice way to give uniques like value without having to actively balance them. Even though I honestly thought disenchanting would be where we would get runes from, considering they talked about how a lot of the enchant effects was unique stuff that was getting put on, like, like Fire Mjolnir and stuff like that. Like before, we the league started, I was like, oh, huh. I think, like, I wonder if we'll get like, my thought process had been that it was, oh, I guess we'll get runes from disenchanting uniques alongside the dust, right? That was kind of like my thought process on it, which to me, I like kind of made sense. We're, we're letting the Kalgurans disenchant the armor, like the weapons and armor, so that way they're learning from it to make runes, kind of deal. Kind of made sense to me in my head when I thought about it. And then it was a case of no, we just get it from the bosses and the shipping. A little anticlimactic, but kind of just is. But it could have been kind of cool if ROG also like gave you like a little influx of runes. Could just make it where it's like, depending on the tier, you might have a higher chance of hitting a power rune or something like that. I think if there was ever a game I would want to be like an in-house tester for would probably be like Path of Exile. Because a lot of times, like, I'll look at their league stuff and then I'll be like, oh, these are ideas that they could have done that would have probably made it a little better. But it's not like they do a bad job. I just feel like there's certain little details that they could have done that would just really make it over the top. I don't know. I think like adding like ROG as a more controlled way of being able to get runes probably would have also helped to the whole uh power rune issue that people don't like. But ideas. I mean, who knows? Maybe if they end up making King's March go core, maybe that's what it'll be. You know, maybe they'll take like shipping out and stuff and just leave like disenchanting, and then disenchanting is how you get runes. I don't know. I'd like to think that like with how um expansive King's March is for adding stuff that they kind of planned to have it be a permanent addition to the game rather than a temporary one. But who knows? Who knows? You could say that about a lot of different leagues, really. Could have said that about Toda. Toda had a lot of shit going for it. Every day I feel we are blessed that that didn't go core. Toda would have been terrible for core, I feel. We're gonna probably run out of residences. Mm, been making some good gold though. Nothing super crazy. I haven't been able to put a strat together that gives me more than just like 10,000 ish gold per map, but it's been fulfilling my needs, so I'm okay. Makes it a little rough when I want to try to roll for like good mappers and stuff like that to get more teams up that can do tier 16s. But I think at the current rate, I can't really supply map like tier 16 maps for more than one team. So it's fine. He's okay. We had a pretty good streak there for a bit for running running comprehensive scouting reports. But now it's been a bit of a dry spell. A little bit of a dry spell. But I believe in the comprehensive Lorianis. You know, I will say I think for Wildwood they should just get rid of the multicolored wisps. They should just make the wisps just be the wisps. Like reduce how many I guess like spawn in it, and just make them like tricolored wisps. Because I feel like that's kind of part of the reason it's also annoying to do Wildwood, or maybe why it's not that great. Because I was watching, who was it? I forgot how to pronounce his Snube, I think. Well, I was watching someone who was doing, like they were using the wisps for. Oh no, I think his was the scarab, but I think it was there was somebody else I was watching who was trying Wildwood, and basically he was only going for it for if you didn't get the right colors, he would just stop. He would just stop and go next map because it just wouldn't be worth it. And I feel like that's part of the weakness of Wildwood is that they attached like so many like different things, right? Like, oh, you need this color for this and this color for that and this. Oh, hey, I think it's doing the thing. Yeah, it's doing the thing. I don't know how it happens. Sometimes it spawns the mobs, but the tree's like immune to damage. So like we'll get some yeah, see? We got it, and I'm pretty sure we got like full value. I don't know what happens, it's a bug. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's a bug or maybe it's a change they plan on doing on the line. And it just like seeps through. I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, he was showing like he was doing like Wildwood runs, and he kept in the runs where like he would show where if you didn't get the right colors, then it wasn't worth running the map because it made the map too tanky. Like it was tier 16s. It made the map too tanky for no return. And I honestly think they should just get rid of the different colored wisps and just make the wisps like multicolored, like just make all the wisps give everything, and then maybe just decrease how many like can spawn or something, or they could just balance it like around like I don't know. They could do a couple balancing things with it, but I think that's like part of the major weaknesses of Wildwood as a core mechanic is that like having to basically choose like going into Wildwood and then being like, oh wow, there's none of these are the right color, and I have a bunch of them. I'm just going to go next because there's no point because it's just a waste of time. Like, if that's how a mechanic plays, like I don't think that's healthy. Like I think that just shows that the mechanic's not in a good state when it comes to like interacting with it. I know there's like mechanics where you kind of have to do that. Like I know people who do blight a lot. If they get a really scuffed like lane layout and with resistances, they just don't do the blight and they just carry on. But it's also a lot less like you also just know ahead of time like how it's going to be with blight, especially for the resistances, because it generally tells you ahead of time for the most part. So I feel like it's a bit different in that regard. And there's like ways around it, right? Like the meteorite tower anoint ignores the resistance immunity from the mobs. So you just don't care. I think the frost tower one also does it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. But yeah. That's a little different. What else? I guess like ball side areas are kind of similar, but I think for the most part, most people just don't do ball side areas outside of just looking for like the ball gems they need early and 6 links early. I mean, there's well, it was like, what was it? I was watching MP's video where they tried again the ball side area strat to get adorns, and they managed to get they managed to get a double. They duped and adorned, and it was the 0% adorned. That shit was funny. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't really think that as a core mechanic, especially one that doesn't have Atlas, like Like if there was a notable that they made for it, like where it's just like, oh, all your wisps in here, like, it has a downside. Wildwood area generates less wisps, but like every wisp will be every color, like will count towards every color kind of deal. I think would be fine. But considering that, we also don't know their plans. Maybe they plan on expanding the Atlas tree a little bit to add in for, at the very least, maybe Sentinel and Wildwood Ascendant, like, Atlas passives. But I think if they're not going to, they should just make it where the wisps are multicolored. Or just make it like a singular color, but just make it have all the bonuses attached to it. Like, just make it work as if you'd gotten like like high numbers of all three wisps is kind of what I'm getting at. I think if they do that, it's fine. Oh, is that Putrid Cloister? Isn't it? No. Is it? Oh, it is. I don't know. Maybe I could put them in the forums. These ideas. I'm just too lazy to like do my Steam verification to log into PoE. Oh shit! Is that one of my residences that I is? Sometimes I lose count of of the residences that, or of the maps like that I've run. But I don't know. I've realized that like as a person, I'm not very good at coming up with ideas from scratch for the most part. But I'm usually like kind of good at, like, if I see something, kind of making suggestions for changes on it. Comes in handy in certain cases. Not so handy in other cases when I have to like work from scratch because then I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. For the last when I used to work, that was one of the things that would be one of the reasons they pull me into meetings. It was kind of funny because we'd have like these morning meetings, and sometimes some of the other part timers could get out of it because they'd be like, "Oh, we have deadlines and stuff, right? We got to do our things." And then I would try to use that excuse, and they'd be like, "We really need you there in case you have good ideas again." And I'm like, I want to have to think. I mean, to be fair, there's also like a difference between coming up with good ideas and being able to implement them. Because like, for instance, the idea that I put forth, right, of being able to uh being able to sell unidentified maps at 0 or 20% quality would be like that'd be great. I feel like most people would want that. Like unidentified, like if you have an unidentified map and you can sell it, you can put it on the player currency exchange for either zero. And it has to either be 0 or 20%. Uh, which would make it a lot easier without having to worry about the whole what mods are on it and blah 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 this and that. Which would also just help it for if you're just looking for maps, you can buy them and stuff like that. But actually, like implementing that, I'm sure would be a lot of work on the back end because the maps are all uniquely coded, right? They all have their own unique individual thing, coding thing, which is how the map recipes work. So it's not exactly easy to. It's something that it's like easier said than done, kind of deal. In regards to like implementing the suggestion of rotating shipping with gold, that's ridiculous. There's no way that's like that hard to do. Like it would take effort for sure, but there's no way that's that could be as complicated as you know that kind of stuff. I really think that maybe like there probably could have been improvements, but a lot of development time got eaten up on making sure the currency exchange was well put together. Because to be honest, that working probably makes or breaks this. Well, not probably. The currency, if the currency exchange had like really bad problems, like from the get go, and they took a long time trying to fix it, like that would have probably broken this league. Like people would probably wouldn't have been as receptive to it. Granted, it did have some issues early. I think there was a couple times like it was eating some people's currencies and stuff when they were doing their trades. But I don't feel like it was as prevalent as a problem as it could have been. Considering I've seen like games that have been established for years randomly get a bug that neither the person who bought the item on their auction house or the person who's selling it get anything, but the auction house then consumes from both sides. Yeah, seen that happen a couple times. Fuck you and your cursed totem things, you demon, a diamond. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap. Tomorrow will probably be take a little break from doing this map grinding and probably work on some of the bossing stuff. Probably see if this we'll see if this character can do uh the Polaric invitations. If they can't, then I'll just do it on my other character because he can do them. Or at least he's done them before. The last batch I did it on him. So perfectly doable. Should be fine. I just personally don't want to deal with Searing Exarch ball phase because I'm lazy. Granted, we had a pretty lucky streak the last couple times we did it, so Probably not the worst. Maven didn't completely fuck us over. But I think the last time we did Searing XR, we did it deathless. Because I was able to keep up with the like, well, I didn't have to keep up with it. Maven was just really good at knocking out the orbs that were basically really close together when they were moving across. So that was really nice. Oh, I wonder if it has to deal with the type of mob that gets spawned in the ritual. Because the ritual uses wildwood mobs, but the petrified amber also uses wildwood mobs. So I wonder if you have a ritual and wildwood and they're next to each other, and the ritual spawns like has wildwood, the wildwood tree mobs. If sometimes that procs the petrified amber ones to spawn without interacting with it. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Strokes. Strokes beard thinkingly. Like we went from more than 50 to 6. I'm finding that one hidden pack of Eldritch mobs. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Yep. That's what we're gonna wrap up for tonight, though. I'm tired. So pretty good job so far. I'm probably gonna like still wrap up the last couple maps that I have left. And then go to bed. But luckily I solved the issue with the audio for Final Fantasy 15. I just remembered to go into settings and tick the box that doesn't allow for applications to interfere with the speakers, and that fixed the problem, thankfully. So, combat system, I still don't know how I feel about it, but we'll still play it through. That's what people wanted to see, so that's what we'll do. I don't know if I'll like go down the list as the poll went, right? Like in order, because it was like Final Fantasy 15, Scarlet Nexus, Trials of Mana, Atelier Ryza 1, like in that order. Was was the votes, like the winners or like the rankings. Or if I'll do like Final Fantasy 15 and then just buy Final Fantasy 16 and just play that after I test the demo and see if it doesn't blow up my computer. Um, PoE. Hopefully, we can get the challenges done within September. My goal is I would like to get the last the last what 5 challenges done during September, and then when I get to 34, like get the night finisher, or 36. Or no, it is 34. Yeah, 34. When I get like getting to 34, uh I will then take a break from PoE, and it'll either be just gotcha games during the night, or it'll be a mix of like gotcha games with coding and stuff like that, because I kind of want to get back to trying to learn how to code again through doing online certifications and stuff like that. But I want to take a break before early access in November, so I'm not like burnt out. But not to mention, I think I'd find it pretty hard to keep playing after achieving my goal, especially because like most of what I would have left. Well, I mean, I'd be like 2 challenges off. So if I finish like, let's say I do this one, this one, this one, this one, or 5, right? So 5 would get us 34. I would then need 2 more challenges, which would probably just be like this one and then this one. I could probably get to the portal effect if I wanted it. It's just more of a thing that like I don't really care for the portal effect. That's why I think I'll take a break after the Verisium Knight finisher. I got a lot of time to finish the challenges. Yeah. Yeah, like if I wanted to, I could definitely like get through it all. It's just that I want to take a break before November. Like I want to take a healthy break before November because I know I'll get burnt out and I want to give PoE2 a decent shot for early access. So that's why I'm kind of giving myself this like month to try to hit this, to try to do it. It's more for like my brain thing. Like I'm pretty sure we can do it. We're pretty close on a lot of the other stuff. The invitation ones aren't going to be too hard either. We have all of these. Worst comes to worst, I'll also run the Searing Exarch ones. I don't particularly want to, but you know, if I gots to, I will. So each one has 3 columns. So like we can definitely reach 34. That's definitely very achievable. I just want to be able to take a bit of a break though, because I just know how my brain works. Like Apex was one that I was kind of surprised. I was able to play Apex for like a year and a half straight, basically, before my brain went, I'm tired of this game. And I think part of that was more due to matchmaking than anything else. Well, PoE, like ARPGs, I generally hit a point where I'm just like, I really don't want to play these right now. Happens a lot to me. So I'd rather not have that happen when like PoE2 is gonna drop and be fresh. But who knows? Maybe if we get like Viper Strike of the Mamba up and running, or if I get around into doing the other builds, because I kind of want to really try. Worst comes to worst, I think like what'll probably happen is I'll take a break, do PoE2, and then depending on how like invested I am during PoE2 with the early access, leading into uh leading into like league start for the next one, I might try to see how uh last rate of butchering feels. Because right now I feel like my league start is probably just gonna be my chieftain slim. Because that was a lot of fun. Too addicted to Gamba, I don't see tired of PoE. I feel like if I didn't have gacha games, I'd probably be a bit more addicted to PoE. To be fair, I'm fairly addicted now. One of the biggest reasons I wasn't addicted to PoE was because I should toss these into the disenchanter while I'm talking. Was because like aside from Bone Shatter, most of the melee builds weren't very good. Like basically most of the melee builds that were good, I wasn't particularly invested in. So it was hard to retain my attention when I didn't really care. The only this ship had 1 person. They died in a tavern brawl. Boat still came back with loot. That's some dedication. That boat was like, we're not leaving without our stuff. That cracked me up. Dude, pretty funny. Too much gacha, eventually you quit. I don't know. I think the only gacha game I play like super consistently is Grand Blue Fantasy because it has a lot of like it has a lot of systems that are very casual friendly while also having a lot of like grind your ass off. I should probably identify everything, shouldn't I? Like it's this weird mix where it's like it's really grindy and yet it's also pretty casually friendly too because in a lot of cases like they don't power creep too much and getting like once you get your grid set together, that grid is used by every character in that element for the most part outside of like very specific niche circumstances. So you can be pretty casual with your grinding and that grid will be good for a long while, so it's really nice. But like a lot of other gacha games, yeah, like Genshin wore me out. I got tired of like the domains and like having to keep up with oh, go do the Archon store over here and go do that. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to cry. Yeah, I played Genshin for like a year, like its first year. Well, not for the full first year, but I definitely played for like the first 8 months pretty religiously. And then I got, then I realized that the domain system and the weekly boss system was kind of like what we were going to be stuck with. Oh shit, that was 2 rank 8s. 3. Okay. And that's a rank 10 shipper. The rest of that to give it 13 hours. High impact. Oh, you are a Summoner's War gamer? I never got into Summoner's War. I dabbled in a lot of like other games. I always saw Summoner's War, and I think I tried it once for a bit, and then I was like, I'm good. I went back. I played a lot of. There was a little gacha game called Knights and Dragons that I used to play with. I played Granblue a lot. I played Granblue probably 8 or 9 years. I think they just recently did their 10 year. Been around. It's been around the block for a while. But I did like Knights and Dragons. Then I did Final Fantasy like Brave Exvius, Brave Frontier, like those kinds of games, which were pretty fun for a good long while. Then I just stopped playing gacha again, except for Granblue. And then I got back into picking up a bunch, and I've played Genshin, Star Rail, now Zenless, or like the other ones. I don't play Genshin. I'll probably reinstall Genshin for the Capitano banner. Throw whatever primos I have at it. If I get them, cool. If I don't get them, whatever. Either way, games is probably just gonna get re-uninstalled after that. Got the free 5-star while I'm at it. Call it good. But I generally play just Granblue and Zenless. And then I dabble a little bit in Star Rail again, trying to build up some Stellar Jade in case they release a character I want. Realistically, I like Star Rail's combat like a lot, a lot. I just I just don't like the whole dialogue situation. Zenless, I honestly, if Zenless didn't have the skip, I probably wouldn't play it as much as I do. But Zenless has the skip, so I can just burn and then get to the content. So we're chilling. Spreadsheets, yo, high five. I had spreadsheets for Final Fantasy, Brave Exvius, and Granblue Fantasy for a while. I don't do spreadsheets too much in Granblue. I let other people do my spreadsheets for me now. Blessed YouTubers and wiki. Granblue Fantasy, like Granblue Fantasy's wiki probably even puts the PoE wiki to shame, in all honesty. Like, those people do work. It is the best Wikipedia I have ever seen for pretty much any game I've ever played. I don't actually know if there's another like wiki out there that's like on par with how much effort they put into it. They have like it used to be really bare bones, and like in the last like year and a half or so, they've really been like cranking out like a lot of stuff for it, and it's so good. It's like it answers every question you could ever have about the game. Like fucking percentages for drop rates and stuff like that. Like what grids are good for what characters. Like what grids are good for what fights and stuff like that. Like oh my god, it's hands down probably one of the other reasons I still play Granblue is just one is character design. Two is because they're relatively nice to the player base and usually give us a lot of free shit. And three is because of the wiki. The wiki just carries so hard. You don't have to dig for so much information anymore, and it's so nice. Too much games already. Yeah, Granblue is one of those games where I'm like, I love it. I'll play it. And if someone goes, should I play Granblue? I'm like, no, don't. Save yourself. Granblue is one of those games that if you get into it and you like it, it's really hard to like fully drop it. Everybody I've known has had like breaks from it, but they've never like stopped playing completely. They always end up coming back at the very least for like the big events because they give a lot of They give a lot of like freebies away for summer, Christmas, New Year's, anniversary. This year they're doing like a half anniversary uh like event thing now where it's a bit like that's kind of like the smaller events are kind of they're kind of geared towards like newer players, but really they're kind of more geared towards newer players that got brought in from the anniversary and summer events and towards like the mid-level players. So mobile games on an emulator so you can do multiple accounts. We don't talk about when I used to do salted Gmail accounts for trying to reroll to get those super juiced super juiced starts. That's why I feel blessed whenever a game has like built-in reroll. 100 rerolls on your guaranteed SSR 10 pull, and I'm like, you guys are saviors. Even though nowadays, like, I just take whatever it gives me and I just roll with it, unless it's a gotcha game where it's like a death sentence for you to do that, which there aren't too many like that anymore. So much for Diluc and Genshin. Is this where I tell you I got Genshin? I got Diluc off of the beginner banner, and then I benched him for beta. So this is where I tell you that Diluc was my first 5-star in that game. Yeah, I didn't give a shit about Diluc. I didn't care. Everybody's like, he's so strong. I was like, all right, that's cool. He's gonna be strong in the corner of my character box while I play Beto, the superior Claymore user. I had friends who wanted to like beat me. Oh yeah, no, I understood how absurdly broken he was. Yeah, no, like I'd use him whenever I used. The irony is I built him to use him to farm for Beto stuff because I did for Beto at the time. It was like we were still theory crafting stuff. So at the time, like the whole sub DPS like role had kind of still been trying to figure out who goes into that, which Beto eventually got relegated to because her ult was like really good. But at the time, it was like if you wanted to main Beto, you would have to go like what was it? It was like 4-piece Bloodstain, 2-piece the Electro one. Oh no, 2-piece the ult one. Yeah, and Bloodstain sucked. I hated that. That domain broke me. That domain's probably the actual reason I don't play Genshin alongside the dialogue. Those fucking abyss mages, bro. Hop off my nuts. Whoever made that dungeon hates people. But yeah, I used the Luke to farm that because too strong. It's way too good. And then I got everything I needed for Beto, and I just benched his ass and just moved the shit over to Beto. And then I stopped playing for a bit, and then I missed the first Eula release, and then I got Eula on a rerun, and then that made me play a lot. And that's like that's my actual main now. Well, would be. I don't play. I haven't played Genshin since like the end of Inazuma. I'm like so far behind. And like I have no interest in trying to catch up until they add like a skip dialogue button. I refuse. That's like 30 years worth of dialogue I'd have to get through. So that game is kind of just relegated to probably never being played again. I also just didn't really like the whole swapping thing because it's not as like smooth as Zenless in my opinion. C6 Kazuha was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember the last time I played Genshin was when they introduced the first iteration of the punchy, you know, giving a character a catalyst but making them beat people with fists. The wind version, like the 4-star detective dude. That was the last time I played Genshin, like for real. More than just logging in to get like bonuses, which I did on one of I think like this year's anniversary. But I did 20 pulls on that, and I didn't get the punchy boy, which is what I wanted, but I got Kazuha and Chi-Chi in one 10 pull. I was disappointed. Kazuha's like not built. He's like sitting in a corner. I think he's like level 20. Mostly because like as someone who plays Eula, he's doesn't do anything for me. Hila, the cryo character that deals a lot of physical damage. Not Epic 7. Epic 7 was a pretty good one for a while. I played that when it came out. It had a really interesting system with the whole where some of the characters had like an alternate version you could unlock with grinding. But that was another one that fell into the same issue that I had with Genshin, which is grinding for gear, and then the gear itself is RNG. Like what stats on it are. It's so weird, right? Like I can play something like Path of Exile, where it's the same thing, right? Like rares drop, and it's completely RNG what's on them for the most part. And I play that without blinking an eye. But you put me that in a gacha game, and I detest it. Like absolutely, just hate it. But I think it's also just because stamina is usually involved in that gacha games. While in PoE, I can like farm maps all week long, and you know I can no life the shit out of it. I feel like it for free. I don't have to worry about stat. Like the only stamina I'm worried about is mental stamina, and that's like already in the negatives. So I can't go. I can't hit zero stamina if that's where I start. Zero stamina, zero sanity, and just turn it off. Easy clap. But yeah, Epic 7 was kind of fun. It had what was it? There was like an axe chick that I liked a lot. That she was pretty good early on if you built her. It was kind of shit once you got towards end game, but I had her for like early to mid game, she was pretty good. And I was like, oh, sweet. I like that character. Who it was? It's been so long since I played Epic 7. Yeah, and then I tried the PvP out. Oh, that reminds me. What is it? 7 Heroes, I think. That was another one that I played. Yeah, let me look up. I want to like actually know what it is. Is it 7 Heroes? No, no, 7 Nights. That's what it's called. 7 Nights. That's a gotcha game I sunk so much time into. That was a gotcha game that was like somewhere between free to play friendly and not. Well, it was like free to play friendly, but not casual free to play friendly. Like that was a game uh I had spreadsheets to figure shit out. Yeah, yeah, the one from Netmarble that they've done like I don't know. They did the sequel that was dog shit, or at least for me it was dog shit. I hated it. And then I think they did like an idle game. I tried that a little bit. The designs look terrible, in my opinion. Even though I think last I heard is they were planning on remaking the first 7 Nights they did because all of their other attempts were pretty bad, and now they're like, oh, let's just go back to what worked. But I liked it. It was pretty fun. Seven. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the 7 Deadly Sins gotcha one. The one with the cards, right? I hated the combat system in that one. I was not a fan. I got Escanor though. I got this. I got the Stonks Escanor. Well, the one at launch that they like released later or something. Oh, that's my boy. So I got Escanor and then I was like, I'm out. I dipped. Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. I think the other problem is that like since I played like because like Grand Blue Fantasy has a lot of things going for it that I like. One, turn based. I'm a sucker for turn based like gotcha game. Two, the RNG is did I get the item? Yes, cool. No, we go again because in Grand Blue, it's like because like so like Genshin, right? You have the relics where it's like kind of specific to the character. There's a couple like overlaying like stats you can do, but Grand Blue Fantasy, it's your weapons is this. Like these are your weapons. And these are what you grind for. And they have fixed stats. Like every katana that drops that's this specific katana will always have these two stats. So all you need to do is get 4 of these and the materials to uncap it, and that's one done. Like technically I'm done with those. Like these two I'm done. I need like 2 more of these, which technically means I need like 8 more. I think 7. I think I have another club. But once you're done with that, you're done until they add a new thing, which usually takes like a year or so. Like you're just done. Like once I get these like 2 more of these fists, I'm done. Like I don't have to worry about grinding new weapons. You still grind for like XP and for other things, but like once you're done with this grid, that like your MC, good to go because MC is in every group. MC is actually like the strongest character in the game, really. And then every character you get for that specific element for that grid, you don't have to farm something new for them. It doesn't matter which one you do. The only difference will be the grid typing, right? Like, because when I get 2 more fists, it replaces like these 2. Well, I think it'll replace like one of these and one of these. I think you just run one if you're gonna run 3 fists, but and that's how it works for every. And you just have to do that for every element. Is all you have to do. It's part of. It's one of the things I'm like procrastinating on because they just released a new power level for all the free to play grids. Well, the pay to win ones too, the primal grids, because it's like Magna is the free to play stuff and Primal is the pay to win ones because Primal uses gotcha weapons. But like they just released a new weapons for both, and I've been neglecting grinding for the Magna ones like a bad casual. But MC is strong. Yeah, they currently released an MC class, like the new class they did, because like these are all the classes you can do. You have rows 1 through 5, which are like the mainline classes, and then you have extra 1 and 2, which are like the extra classes. And you have all of these. So MC can be all of these classes, which the element is dependent on what weapon you main hand in the grid, which was why there was one that was like bigger than the other ones. Like that's the main hand weapon. And then this class is by and large the strongest thing in the game right now for damage. There's like setups for this that like I think like I don't think like any character in the game can catch up to to this class. And like this game, like it spoiled me with how much shit is just really good. Because you have one character slot you never have to worry about because the MC is permanently attached to every single one of your teams and has fucking shit ton of classes. And they also did a really good job of not letting like these classes be absolutely useless because they added first like they only got to level 20, right? Like you see like these guys, they stop at level 20, they don't have any extra. That's like the basic feature. And then when they released when they were going to release row 5, they added the master levels, which is what you get after getting past level 20, so you get more stats. And then while they were releasing row 5, they released what was called ultimate mastery, which it requires materials. Like it's basically more grinding, but he gave a bunch of really strong abilities. So that way like newer players who weren't like towards end game, because getting to row 4 is actually really quick. Row 5, bit of a different story since you have to get to mastery level 30. Like that takes a bit of a grind for a newer player. But all of these classes are usable. In some cases, some are even better than their row 5. Like Berserker is stronger than Viking right now. Because Berserker can use Viking's things, but Viking can't use Berserker's ultimate mastery, which are really strong. So there's a couple where the back and forths are kind of dependent on it. Wait, who's next? Oh, Nighthound's next. Yeah, we're currently in the process of getting new row 5 classes, and they go in order. So like we just recently got the row 5 for Luchador. So next is Nighthound. But yeah. Like Grand Blue Fantasy, like it spoiled me a lot for gotcha games. So I have like relatively low tolerance for nonsense, like grinding for relics that are completely RNG and can kind of fuck you over, even though they've added like ways to deal with that now. So that's nice. Or whatchamacallit? Well, not having a skip button for dialogue, because Grand Blue since forever has had like the recap. Like when you play the story, like for an event or something, you can skip it and then it'll give you a recap of what was like said in that specific instance, and you can decide to either continue skipping or you can cancel the skip and then actually read it if whatever is in the synopsis caught your attention. So like if it introduced like a new character and you're like, oh, I want to see if that has like a design, like a unique design. Because sometimes the NPCs do and they don't. And so, you can do that, click through the story, see it, and then you can continue skipping along the way. So, and that's been a part of the game since, well, as long as I've played, which is like 8 to 9 years now. So it's like I have like some pretty high standards for things, which is why like Star Rail and Genshin I just kind of went like I'm good, but Zenless like I keep playing because it's Zenless is all right. Zenless isn't too bad, honestly. I haven't gotten into the really nitty gritty grinding part for the W drives yet, but because I'm waiting to hit the next level where I start doing that to get the 5-star stuff, but that's fine. But yeah, when I take a break from PoE, hopefully in like the next month, what'll probably happen is it'll probably be me playing like Grand Blue while I'm like doing stuff on the side or something. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna end stream there. Thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. If it was early in the day for you, I hope you have a good day. If it was late in the day for you, I hope you as well. Stay safe, stay hydrated. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.